here at SSL Premier. It is time for the third match of the night. Maru versus Stats, a PVT right in the middle.
No, we were looking at our statistics earlier on, and I feel like it's appropriate whenever you cast stats to have those at hand. And even though maybe there's a slight percentage prediction in favor of Maru here, that's all time, and that includes his previous God status. And now it really has been just all about stats. He's in #1 place. He's been looking dominant all season long, and these are very familiar maps. Abyssal Reef, Nuclear Precinct, Whirlwind. I feel like we've had these maps in SSL basically forever. He's going to know how to play those, and he knows how to play to his opponents. Even though, whoa, 45-45 tied even.
Wow, how does that happen?
It's the magic of the internet, Valdez.
It's following the script that we laid out for this series. More surprises to come later, guys.
Well, the stat that I wanted to get to here is that even though Maru may statistically have a tiny advantage, what actually matters is whether or not you match up against these players that are just your kryptonite. And for Maru, that has been stats. In fact, the last 5 times that these two players have faced off against each other, stats has come out on top every single time. And we'll see some statistics here about how Maru, SSL champion, he's doing very well in his achievement rank too. Not there in 10th place like we saw earlier. But I think the real story is that he has actually kind of struggled this season of SSL.
Yeah, you can see it's back and forth too. I mean, he's definitely showing that he can defeat some of the players that are down towards the bottom, but really struggles against the top players, right? Like, he's beat everyone that's below him. He's defeated Maru, or Solar, he's defeated Hero, he's defeated Biel, but he loses to Dark, he loses to Deer, he loses to Innovation. So it's all of these, he's like stuck right in the middle of SSL Premier right now, so at least he's consistent in that, but he's got to up his game a little bit.
The peanut butter and jelly in the SSL sandwich.
Is he the peanut butter or the jelly, though?
Well, that's what we'll find out tonight.
Great.
What a thing to find out. Well, this is stats. You can see win, lose, and then win, win, win no matter what. He's got winning on his mind. See if he can get enough of it here tonight.
This guy's a beast. He's upholding the Splice name in SSL after Solar got trashed by Innovation 0-4 in the finals of SSL Premier Season 1. So Stats wants to bring back honor to the family name, and he will continue to do so tonight if he does get this win up against Maru.
It's going to be an uphill road for Maru. He has yet to beat Stats in months in online tournaments when they have faced off. So here tonight, it's a chance to turn all of that around. Also, for a player who wants to climb away from relegations, away from that fast zone, and up into the standings, well, he has to prove that he is capable of beating the baddest here in SSL Premier.
These two going at it in the chat. They're both smiling. They're both happy. We'll see who will continue to have the happy face after this does end.
Well, truly nobody has a happier face than Stats. The Stats fighting mode is basically the best. You guys should go get that right now. And you should get ready for our first game and our third series of the night. It's Stats versus Maru.
Fly better fly. Jin air.
All right, we even did
We're
the
doing
air.
it. Yeah.
We got it. Here is our blue Terran player spawning in the upper left-hand corner. That's Maru.
And before we introduce the other guy, well, I'll do it quickly. This is Stats down in the bottom right. But the thing that Maru said in the chat was, I'm welcoming a dirty game for game number 1. That's literally what he said. People in the crowd, they were laughing. And right away, he goes for a proxy Rax. It's going to be just one, but he wasn't joking with his dirty tactics here in game 1.
Now, I want to see Maru double down here. Not only the barracks, but next to factory, next to a starport, all out on the map. I mean, he's going to have a probe that will scout him, but it'll be all too late. And you know, thankfully, or I'm not sure. Do we disallow chatting in the middle of the game? I feel like I've seen players do that, but yeah, probably not allowed. Otherwise, Stats would probably have something to say about that. Watch him not scout with this and just put down a proxy pylon at the ramp. Of course, not going to do that, but he will see that in fact there is no barracks on the high ground.
He's like, really? I mean, he's going to come in here and see.
He's just like nodding. He's like,
yeah. He's like, okay, all right, I see.
It's the I'm being proxied face.
Yeah. No Nexus says, okay, we'll put down the Cybercore. I'll just play it safe.
Oh, you. Also, Maru double gas behind this as well. So, no expansion in sight. This is one base in it as hard as possible. He's blocking the Nexus that will never come. Still sees no base. Factory block just in time.
Not able to zap that SCV or anything. Was on the outside. And this SCV just being annoying. Maru himself knows he was scouted. It's just going to be the transition. Where's that barracks going? You said the no. Maybe he's going to land it. Yes, he will. He's done this before.
Okay. So yeah, I thought he was actually going to go all the way, like find a darkened place in the base to drop it down and produce things inside.
Proxy Marines, one at a time.
Yeah, there you go. That's the sick strat. No,
without upgrades.
Yeah, you build a reactor, though. That's the real strat.
2 at a time.
No, it's just going to be there to block any expansion from coming down. Needs to get next to the wall to jump away. Okay, I think that Reaper might even survive for a little bit longer.
Yeah, he wasn't kidding when he said this was going to be a dirty game, because not only did he proxy, but I feel like he knew he was going to be scouted and that this was planned, because, I mean, we've seen him do it before. And if he wants to bring it back into the meta where it's like, okay, I'll just delay it
supply block
super fast, that will be pretty fun for me.
Okay, saving that Reaper, just getting in and out.
Wow.
Oh, he's lowered again. I wanted to see him land it again. Just lift and lower, lift and lower. Not going to do that. Was just a little bit annoying. And I wonder if this is going to set us up for, like, you know, super mech behind this. A lot of times you proxy the barracks. It's not an actual proxy, but it does just float on in when you don't need to make a bunch of Marines back home.
Yeah, he gets a full scout with this. It's literally the most annoying thing for the Protoss. I mean,
perfect timing.
He blocks the CC, or the Nexus. He gets a full scout. He has the defense back at home. And as you were saying, the one thing he's missing is those infantry upgrades. So I'm curious about the follow-up afterwards.
Oh my god, does he really know? No, he doesn't. You guessed wrong. And now the, or did he? Okay, no, he did not. Where is, okay, he micros a little bit to try to avoid possible wood mine. He's trying to steer him into it.
Woo.
Watch it take a U-turn. Okay, no.
Hit the Zealot. Observer was sleeping on the job. Didn't get to show us that. I thought that might happen. Man. And now he's going to block the ramp here. That's going to be visible in the future.
Yeah.
That Widow Mine.
You can't hide forever, Widow Mines. All right, well, okay. Needs to make sure that doesn't totally burn down for free.
This is the most annoying barracks of all time.
It really is.
I mean, it blocked the natural. It got a full scout. It produced an early Reaper, so it forced a Zealot. And to block the third.
The Zealot then died, free value. All planned. But I love the Phoenix here coming out to stop what will be a Liberator on the way. Maru did go for very early gas. Watch him overcharge to kill it. No, I'm just kidding. But the Phoenix is, being very annoying. It will protect against this Liberator coming in as well. I think Stats is just setting up to be in a super strong position.
We got these Widow Mines on the map looking for a drop towards that natural, but Stats is extremely prepared with everything that he's got down there. Question is, will he be ready for that Liberator that's in his main? Doesn't look like it.
How did that sneak by both Phoenix that were there to stop that from coming in? So Liberator in the main, Widow Mine drop, and he's going to actually drop a third Widow Mine to try to catch the proxy. The transfer, oh my god! Whoa! 18, 19, 20, 21. Count with me, Valdez. 20. Okay,
one.
He stopped there. He's going to try it again. Oh, he's not moving the probes! 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, no. 25 workers, Valdez. Oh my God.
Shout outs to Maru. He knows that I'm 25 years old.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thanks, buddy. Well, not yet, but soon. In September, I will be 26. So.
Close enough, Valdez.
But yeah, that is pretty ridiculous damage. I don't think Stats can come back from that. He's at 20 probes.
20 workers, and we're already 6.5 minutes into the game. Like, ugh. Rough. Not just the sound of dog mix.
Yeah.
Or a cool Terran streamer. Or what else is rough? Wasn't that
a golf term?
Wasn't that the anti-crime dog in those commercials? That was Scruff McGruff.
Ah.
There you go.
It's got a couple of roughs in the name.
Yeah, well, Maru's taking a bite out of stats here in this game. About to have his pro count. Wow, he's already up to 27. Chrono Boost's a cool ability.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to get his feet underneath him. All he can afford is one gateway. You can never really make those gateways after getting that third base.
To be fair, all those Widow Mines, they get taken out, and as long as he's cognizant, stats can maybe micro around, get some value. I'm trying to be a 6 stats shill because Maru did get a big advantage off of that. So right now, Maru going to bring to bear a very strong army. He has Liberators in the air as well at the same time. So this is very diverse. It's going to be very difficult to stop with just Phoenix.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Maru just delaying that third base, saying, I can just kill you. You're not going to have anything. What are you going to do against my tanks? Try to lift them against all these Marines?
No, man.
I don't think so.
Can't do that.
The Liberator's kind of curious, but I suppose
it's got the force field like his life depends on it.
Yeah, that Liberator could definitely go into the third base or even just protect the tanks against any kind of Protoss units that try to get in there.
Okay, there is the lift on the tank. There's still one in behind. That will get lifted up, but just the Marines underneath will kill almost every single Phoenix.
That was about as good as it could have gone, but not good enough. Maru takes game number 1. Crazy harass in that game.
Look at that guy. The secret is he wearing his Barbie wristband today? That's the power wristband. He might be bringing that one to bear because, wow, what a game. That triple Widow Mine drop. Everything change in an instant, Valdez.
Yeah, that's like the builds of old, right? Not super old builds, but, you know, like back earlier on this year or even last year where it was like we'd see Widow Mine drops get 20 probes and damage, and it's like, oh, well, I guess the game just ends.
The game is over now.
Yeah,
no,
that's exactly what happened.
That was definitely a thing of the past. A build from the days of yore. I'm going to put on my robe and my wizard hat for that.
Yeah. Somebody's going to tweet at me on Twitter. He's like, that build came out at the end of 2016. I can't believe you said it was older.
Like, no, man, that build's been around for a while.
But, I mean, it's definitely that kind of... It's not an all-in or anything like that. It's not like it's just a big commitment to harass, and it's very hit or miss. Sometimes the Protoss has his Phoenixes in position right when you drop the Widow Mines. You lift them up, and you're like, why the hell would a Terran ever do that build? Sometimes the Phoenixes are not there, and you get 18 probes of damage, and the Phoenixes aren't killing the Liberator either, and you're like, why would the Protoss go for Phoenixes?
Liberator, the man, even sieged, unsieged, then re-sieged to kill 4 probes. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's that hashtag value. Maru getting it in game number 1, and now poised to take out the first place player in SSL. Maru's been struggling a little bit this season. Stats been on top. See if he can be toppled over here tonight by Maru.
More chatting in the chat here between these two players. But here we go. Looks like it's time to finally get into game number 2. We'll see if Stats can come back, or will Maru sweep this one? Game number 2 on Newkirk Precinct. And here we go, down on the bottom left, the Terran that won game number 1. It is Maru.
Yeah, better flying for the Jin Air Green Wings. His opponent playing for Stats in the yellow, our Protoss player, Stats. I said playing for Splice. I was so close, Valdez.
It's our player. His name is Splice.
He plays for Stats.
What if there was a guy who named himself Splice after Team Splice became a thing and he wanted to join Splice? Would we call him Splice or Splice Squared?
I mean, co-owner of Team Liquid is named Liquid, so he's Liquid. So
yeah,
it's not unprecedented,
happened.
but that would certainly be very next level. And here we go, a probe coming out. No, most likely just to block the command center, but this could be Stats' turn. Some cheeky shenanigans.
He's going to be happy to see that no shenanigans this time from Maru. They were talking a bit in the early game chat. Maru was, or rather Stats was saying, wow, that's the first time in a while things have just really exploded, you know, literally. Like saying like, oh, things got way out of hand right off the get-go with the Widow Mines, and Maru was just like, yeah, it's the first time in a while I've gotten lucky, basically. And so going back and forth, both of these guys seemingly pretty good friends. They don't necessarily always see the two pro gamers talking so much to each other.
That is true, Valdez. A lot of times pro gamers are actually really good friends. I know we think about them kind of as fans, as casters, as being at odds with each other because they fight against each other for our amusement. But they are actually mostly really good friends. There are a few odd rivalries in the Korean StarCraft 2 community, but I would say most of these guys are pretty cool with each other.
He's looking for a proxy here. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna proxy himself.
Put the proxy. That's pretty next level if it's there. But Reaper on proxy detection duty. Not gonna find anything.
Both of these guys scouting everywhere. Stats did make the Stargate in his main, so no shenanigans out of him.
I mean, this is Newkirk Precinct, especially in PvT. A lot of times the map does get kind of broken in half.
Does that mean they can't cross across the map when it gets broken? Is there a big rift in the middle?
This is like the McFoley of maps. It actually gets split in half. Both players on each side. Then eventually they start breaking down the destructible rocks and taking those bases.
I don't think I've seen a game where a player breaks down the destructible rocks. Actually, I think maybe one game where a Zerg did it and went Swarm Hosts.
Ooh, yeah.
Not 100% sure, but that would be like the only case that I remember.
No Reaper. Do not pass go. Do not collect detection in the base. All right, I like it. Lots of Widow Mines. Hey, Maru figured out the magic strat, man. He's just going for a ton of them.
That's so funny. I mean, he used to do this way back when it was more popular, and well, it's good against oracles, which are extremely common on this map. So you can just lay down a couple of Widow Mines, and he's even going to get a scout of the Stargate as well and see that oracle coming out. So Maru off to a good start here.
Yeah, that should not be too much news to say, oh, there's really an oracle on the way. But here we go. This is truly the strat. Now, only picking up 2. I felt like the third Widow Mine was really the charm there in that drop. But oh, he could be running into another one. There's one in the main, but I think he needs to reposition that against this oracle in the front.
Look at how much damage this oracle has already done. He's going to get hit, though, at the end. He does get 8 SCVs, though, so definitely paying for his life. Here comes that drop flying right over the Nexus, going for the natural.
Barely boosting it in, needs to drop them. There's one overcharge. Will he get the mines burrowed in time?
Ooh. No. That was a close one, but here we go again.
4 more mines. This is going to be traumatizing.
He's ready for this, though. You can see he's got his units in position. Even without vision, he's almost expecting this at this point.
Maru heavy on the mine drops. Playing Bomberman this game. He is going to try to drop these in the main. Now there is detection, so he needs to space these out. No pulls. There's half the pull, but the mine's going to go off. It's the Profanity Massacre in the main. And he even saves 2 of the mines.
He can reposition those. He just dropped one down. is going to save the other one and get it down here, and still lacking detection that is consistent is Stats. He's trying to get that robotics facility, but both of these guys trading huge blows in the early game.
He didn't actually burrow the one that he dropped off in the main, so that's a little bit of a blunder.
It was the debated mine. It's like, here, come get this one. The other one is the real target.
Yeah, our observer was actually pointing out that, oh my god, he's going to bait them right into the double mine. No! Maru, the Terran terrorist, just dropping bombs on him over and over again.
This Widow Mine got more kills, too.
Yeah.
Got a couple more.
Up at the front. He's going to just keep walking him across the map. I think Maru might have finally found the unit that just tears Stats apart.
Okay. Does spot this one. Oh, boy. What is going on tonight?
2 Oracles and 3 Phoenix. I'm just... Wow. What a game. I mean, if I could get this much damage with the mines, it'd be the only unit I made too. 3 more on the way. Let me try that again. 3 more on the way. There we go. I got it.
Coming out here. Over into the main is going to be scouted, though, with this Oracle.
Oh, the drop and the pickup. Oh, my God.
It's like the fake Areno, you know?
Drop him right there. Drop him. Do it. Do it. You know you want to. Huh? Oh, not going to go for it.
There's not much here at the third.
The observer actually is just going to totally pass it out.
Okay, he's going to split. But it's so important that he saved these, you know?
Oh, my God.
He's getting consistent damage, not only in a couple of probes here or there, but also in the pulls.
And there's still a mine that hasn't been dealt with. The observer is way over, finally being brought over. All right. Built that for a reason. So finally it feels like the time of the mines has come to an end, but you know, at what cost? Just look at the damage done.
Yeah, and Maru's playing a similar style in game number 2. You can tell that he's prepared this style specifically. You know, maybe recently on the ladder is finding a lot of success. Maybe he feels like Stats' style is not good against this because he lacks detection early. Whatever it is, he doesn't necessarily want to go into a macro game. He doesn't want a third base. He wants lots of harassment with the Widow Mines and then a follow-up with Bio. And especially on Newkirk Precinct, that third base is way out there, and you're forcing a lot of overcharges early because of the Widow Mines. Let's see what this push can get done.
Now, I thought Maru was going to notice that observer and scan and kill it, but he didn't. So there is going to be an observer behind this army. There's also one in front, as well as a stasis ward that will get scanned, targeted, taken out. Force field's not actually locking off too much of Maru's army.
Yeah, he gets away with most of it. He's about to finish up +1. I feel like he needs Liberators in this push, though. You can't just charge straight into that one. You know, maybe you can try to pick off some units. Maybe you go for some drops, but you need some other tech to help out with this.
Cool to see the destructible debris. Cooling tower getting taken out, but now all of Stats' army, or most of it rather, is there at the third. Love the split, though. It looks like he's figured out exactly how much he needs in both locations.
Yeah, he's finally hanging on to this one, and you can see that Maru has picked up his third base, is about to finish that up. Probably feels as if Stats has enough defense at this point. Didn't try to go for an attack with the Liberators at all, just made a couple of them and kept them with this army for now.
Yeah, let's see, where are those Liberators? They must be a little bit further behind there. Our observer was pointing out earlier that even though 16 probes were taken out with this Widow Mine harass and the Oracles and Phoenix, and it all looked pretty cool, Maru lost 10 Widow Mines early, which is still kind of going to add up. And it's not like it dealt game-ending damage like it did in Game 1. Stats is totally stabilized and is going to have this huge army, a mass amount of adepts. Stalkers behind. Does he have enough to deal with these Liberators?
One at a time they push forward. The blink is not yet done, and it looks like there's only about 9 Stalkers in that mix. Very carefully pushing is Maru.
Siege, unsiege, siege, unsiege, but Stats in the meantime has those 2 adepts harassing back in the bag. They're going to keep getting these worker kills and need to be dealt with, forcing a pull across the map. Whoa! Going to be parrying those back to the third, but I think he's going to go. Oh my god, so close. This is tense.
Yeah, the Liberators, every time they push forward, he's going for it now. He wants to pick them off. The force fields are pretty good, but those Liberators are not falling very fast. Finally, they do go down, but pushing forward now is Maru.
Perfect center set micro there. The Marauders going forward, but they are taking a lot of damage from the Stalkers in the back. The Immortals finally taken out, but too much damage being done. Maru forced to push back.
Not a lot of Wood Mines in the mix. Didn't get the big hits in that push. And Stats found that moment in time where the Liberators were unsieging, and he pushed forward and made use of it. So nicely done there. Now I feel like almost Maru's desperately trying to make this push work.
Our observer pointing out that the Protoss has insanely good upgrades. What's that, +3/+3 on the way? Oh my god.
3-2.
3-2, all right, yeah. But that's actually really good right now. It's going to be not only great to protect the Immortals, who are actually going to be pretty immortal right now, but Stalkers as well. Every little thing that can keep them surviving against these Liberators is going to be good in my book. Now more shades past, economic damage being done. Every SCV forced to pull once again from that natural, and damage behind, damage in front. Maru heading for the hills.
There it is, a free Liberator. And the follow-up shade as well. He knows he's ahead. This is why you don't want to play macro games up against Stats. The Widowmines didn't do as much damage in game number 2 as they did in game number 1.
Planning them again, but of course the detection is there. This third base will be forfeited. Maru tries to fight here. It's not going to go his way.
And that Guardian Shield just adding insult to injury. There it is, GG. We're going to a game number 3.
Stats, you could really see that he was maybe a little bit traumatized early on by massive mind drops, but no, Maru, you cannot try it twice in a row. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, that was kind of shame on him. Bad Maru.
Yeah. Maru, he's like, well, that worked a lot in game number 1. Let me try again. But Stats, he knew it was coming. Even if he didn't necessarily see it 100%, was able to get that defense in there. It was looking a little bit scrappy, especially early on. Lots of damage going both ways, but you can see that once Stats actually holds on, Maru really has trouble standing up to him in a big macro game once it gets to 3 bases.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe if you're Maru, you kind of just have to go for the mind strat. If something works, then try to keep it going there. But as the game got later and later on, I mean, Stats, you just saw how much his pedigree is just really showing here. And okay, you lose one game to the Widow Mines, just like, okay, you won the game. But that's why we have best of series, so that one mistake in one game that ends it is not totally, well, it's game ending, but it's not series ending. So there's still chances to come back. And indeed, our final map of this series will be Whirlwind. So a large map. Very difficult to pull out that same sort of strong early game style. If this goes late again, Stats is going to be in a good spot.
Expecting Stats on this bigger map to not sustain as much damage in game number 3. So let's see how it goes down here, jumping into Whirlwind for our final map. Game number 3, starting here on Whirlwind. In the bottom right, it is Maru. A little bit of a smirk going on.
Oh, well, I guess that didn't work. Well, his yellow opponent playing for the yellow team, this is Splice's Stats. Sinking his fangs in Maru there in game number 2. No more Widow Mines allowed. That is not how you beat Stats.
This map is gigantic. Maru's going to be happy that, or rather Stats is going to be happy that there's a lot of room in between these guys. Maru can't go for those crazy Widow Mine drops, rather, in this game. I mean, he can, but it's not going to be as potent as it was in games number 1 and 2.
Yeah, Depot CC, very economic build. Of course, very similar timing to the expansion coming out of Stats as well. Playing to the map and saying, hey, we're going to be on a big map. Time to expand.
This guy got to master just by watching Stats play in SSL. So if you guys want to also make it into Master, definitely watch Stats play in SSL.
That's how I got to Masters. No, I do have a Grandmaster account, but that's actually just No Regret who named himself after me, and 1312 is way up there, so big fan. But sadly, I did not learn like that fan how to get to Masters by watching.
Maybe
SSL,
someday.
the dream.
Stats with a good scout here. Coming down into the bottom right, getting that first scout off. Maru hasn't scouted himself at all, so he doesn't even know where Stats is currently.
Yeah, this is. I feel like after the Noni probe that made Hydra instantly GG, there's no probe that will ever be quite that effective. So you can come in and try, but no, it's not going to be very annoying. We'll get the full scout though, and sometimes that's all the information you need.
This unfortunate SCV doesn't know what kind of journey he's in for.
He's trying to make his way in the world, find his fortune. No, it's not out there. Hope that SCV packed like a sandwich sack lunch.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many minerals and gas to be mined, but he just doesn't have enough room outside of his 2 little robot arms to carry those minerals.
What actually really confounds me is that the arms on the SCV are just drills, right? So they can't actually. I think he has to like stab the.
I think one of them is a drill and the other is like a little.
Okay. So he drills it with one hand and then stabs it with the other, or grabs it with the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But keep it. I think these are these this. Yeah, these are not the skinned SCVs. So, or are they? I don't even know what a regular SCV looks. I just always use the worst chest skins. These are the regular SCVs.
These are the normals.
Yeah.
We got a robotics first for Stats. He's not messing around. He could have gone straight into Phoenix as another option, but after seeing the way that worked in Game 1, I guess he has other ideas here. Is also going to go for the robotics bay immediately, so has other options in mind as well.
But what could those options be? There's probably just going to be a ranged Colossi coming out here. We've seen this a couple of times. The big tell will be whether or not Maru knows about this. I don't think he has scouted the bay just yet.
No, all he saw was a pylon, an adept, and the mothership core. That's really just about it. And you can see he's poking out with some Marines, trying to get some extra information, but so far, not so good.
Where's it going to be? I mean, these are... Okay. What is this? Okay. I don't feel like this is the hill to die on, Maru.
Well, he's ready to take one for the team.
Is that what he's taking for the team? It feels like he just lost a lot of Marines.
Taking one for Team Maru here. Mothership core with 3 kills.
I don't know if I want to be on that team, Valdez.
He got an adept. You know how much every Terran hates adepts.
Well, I mean, you're no one more than I, but this is my one time I get to use yikes on the broadcast. That's a lot of Marines he just doesn't have anymore.
Yeah, definitely a decent chunk to start off with, and I suppose with that play he can notice that there is a significant lack in units, so he might have assumed that this is a very fast third base. You can see that he's trying to follow up with a scout up towards the third base location for Stats, but when he sees that that's not there, he's definitely got to ask himself, well, he's not making units, he's not making expansions, it's got to be some kind of tech, and knowing Whirlwind, maybe he can assume from here that Stats is going into Colossi.
Well, this will be a very powerful timing for Stats. +1/+1 and extended thermal lance on the way. I think he's up to, is that 2 Colossi now?
Number 2 is about to
yeah, there we go. So yeah, 2nd Colossi on the way. 3.
There he is.
Yeah. 3 gateways about to finish. This is going to be a big swell. Stats needs to... I think he has successfully hit the Colossus tech for now, right?
Yeah, I believe so. No scans that I saw.
Still nothing but bio in production. There's no Vikings in the air, right? Yeah.
Nope, nothing.
Just bio on the ground. This will all die.
Okay,
yeah,
now he's
finally it is revealed, and immediately, yeah, Maru heads back home. Those are not the laser beams you're looking for.
You can tell that he was poking forward, trying to get more information. Like, okay, what the hell are you doing? What tech is this? I mean, he made a missile turret. He had scans saved up just in case it was DTs or something weird like that. And he was ready, but now he knows 100%. So that's something good for Maru. He's going to add in his second starport, and he has that third base up and running now. So we'll be able to actually make those double starports work for him.
Ooh, just barely in range of that overcharged pylon. We'll push him away. In the future, that won't work anymore. We'll have to just rely on recharging our shields.
An interesting idea.
Indeed. But now finally the Colossi are pushing out. They're going to at least defend the third base, which is extending Stats' reach further and further towards Maru. Not sure where that's going. There we go. You don't really scout too much with floated starports, but reactors on the way and massive amounts of Vikings, 4 at a time, coming out from Maru in response.
Yeah. The Vikings of old, they're having their time to shine once again, their return to fame. Here in this game of StarCraft, we're going to be seeing a lot of them in the sky. And already up to 4 Colossi once that one on the production tab does finish.
Oh, but a sneaky, cheeky drop around the side. Maru with most, if not, that might be the entirety of his army, well, except for that guy. Sorry, Marine.
You he lived.
Haha. No, he did not. It does draw the rest of Maru's forces, or Stats' forces, towards that natural. Right as he doom drops the main, those pylon overcharges will not last very long against his massive force of Marauders. He's going to kill every single overcharged pylon, and in fact, even just most of the pylons, he could get these upgrades. Yes, he will. Both go down. Pick up, get out, and Maru with the snipe.
What a play, man. There are no observers over there. Stats has 2 of them. There's not a single one. It's like he didn't know that that would have happened. He had nothing prepared, just the mothership core. That's not enough to stop 4 medevacs full of mostly Marauders out of Maru. So finding a crack in the armor there and really taking advantage of Stats' lack of defense.
I mean, we should really point out how much of a mysterious adventure that was for Maru to stim into his opponent's base not knowing what's there. I mean, maybe he's studied Stats replays before and knows that he puts double forges there, but barring that, that was just an adventure. If he doesn't find anything there deep in the base, maybe he gets blinked on, maybe crazy things happen, he just loses everything. That was a little bit risky, but it really pays off.
I think he also scanned ahead a couple of times, so he was like, okay, I have a certain idea
he did get that,
yeah, you know, what buildings are going to be on the opposite side, and that's an interesting place to put your forges, right? Maybe if you put them all the way in the back right side, they don't get sniped like that, but that definitely will delay the 2-2 for Stats, whereas Maru will have his 2-2, and he's going to be forcing this fight hard. He knows what a timing he has.
Yeah, he did scan ahead and see them there, yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, but if he hadn't, it would have been risky. There we go. There's my save. Still trying to come in and poke at the third base. Won't find any angles there, but a metric ton of Vikings. That's a ton with an E on the end. Just means a lot. Whoa, not where you want to hold position your Colossi. A big blink there onto these Vikings, trying to take them out, trying to keep these Colossi alive. They're going to start plowing through this Bioforce in the back, but the Vikings aren't falling quickly enough. Only 1 Colossi left, but every Viking falls.
This is the Maru of old. He is back. Crushing Protosses. Needs to target that Colossus, though. Is going to get it in the end. And not only Blink Stalkers should be able to save you. He's trying to make a case here with the charge lots. But we will have more reinforcements making their way across the map. And he may even win this fight anyway.
Yeah, those medevacs healing up the bio. The double upgrades just now finishing, I believe, but it's not enough. GG. Wow, Maru comes through in the end and takes out Stats. Very well played, and you said it yourself, Valdez. It really feels like the old Maru style is back.
What a huge day for Maru, man. He needed that win. He was sitting at 3-4, and in order to make a case for him to make it into the finals, he had to win his last 2 games. They were going to be hard games up against Stats here in round number 8. He does have a live in round number 9, but now he's put himself in a fantastic position to have a pretty good chance to maybe make 4th or at least stay in Premier.
Maru, ruining liquid bets everywhere. That guy has struggled lately, especially against stats. He's lost the last 5 times. Last 5 times they've played against each other. But tonight, I'm not allowed to count on air anymore, guys. I had my chance, but I flubbed it. So, yeah, but Maru did not. That's Stats' second loss only this season of SSL. Wow, what a victory for Maru.
They're both against Protosses.
Yeah.
I mean, he was able to take out Classic and Hero pretty easily, both of them with the 2 O's, but then okay, wait, that was Maru that he just went down to, so that's a Terran, so never mind. But still, I mean, that's a fantastic win for Maru. He's really got to feel happy about that one. The first one was kind of a crazy, explosion of a game with everything blowing up with the Whittle Mines, but definitely outplaying him on a big map on Whirlwind in macro and making it look pretty good. That was really fun to watch.
Game 2 was a little bit shaky. It's just like, let's fly Whittle Mines in over and over again. It's like, okay, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Stats did look okay in that match, but man, Whirlwind, Maru just really resurging. Didn't try for any cheesy strategies. Didn't try to, build proxy buildings or go for mass Whittle Mines again. No, he just played a straight-up game. The snipe on the double forges, though, was just,
yeah.
Really good.
With 2-2, I think maybe Stats takes that fight. I mean, it was still a really fantastic position for the Vikings, but just keep in mind that extra armor would have taken away so much damage from the double shots of all the Vikings
the extra
on the Colossi.
Would have helped him take out the Vikings faster. So, congratulations, Maru. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our 4th series of the night. Don't go anywhere.